Hello everyone, happy Friday, Friday. Alright, Amazon, flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Negotiators are supposed to continue talking about possible compromises on increasing the nation's ability to
We
borrow
might
money.
compromise.
The federal
Give us
government
more
is
money.
expected to breach its debt ceiling next
Where are we
week
gonna get
unless
that?
Congress
Well,
votes
you know,
to raise it.
the poor
House Speaker
citizens
Kevin
of the
McCarthy
United
says no
States.
compromise has
alright.
yet been reached.
There is no agreement. All right. We know where differences lie. We'll work throughout the day. We'll continue to work and try to be able to solve the problem. But there is no agreement.
House Democratic Whip Catherine Clark is
By the
blaming
way, spray
Republicans
some
for
of more of
their
the killing
demands.
I
products
think
on
if they
their
were
produce.
not still fighting for
Do that.
extreme cuts, we would have a compromise.
But how would we get
Republicans
money
say
for
that
them
Democratic
from them if they're
lawmakers are
sick?
being unreasonable.
Medication.
Texas
treatment.
Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton is facing possible impeachment. A panel in the Republican-led Texas House of Representatives alleges Paxton abused his office. The Texas newsroom Sergio Martinez Beltran reports the Texas House could vote to impeach as soon as this weekend.
There are 20 articles of impeachment against Paxton. They include constitutional bribery, abuse of official capacity, and retaliation against former employees. The allegations are largely the result of a Texas House investigation into a $3.3 million settlement Paxton is on the hook for. That money would go to 4 of his former employees who were fired in 2020 after accusing Paxton of alleged misdeeds related to an Austin real estate investor. Paxton denies any wrongdoing and says the allegations are illegitimate. He's been a controversial figure and is known for trying to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. For NPR News, I'm Sergio Martinez Beltran in Austin.
Authorities in Indiana have fined an abortion provider. She had publicly discussed performing an abortion on a 10-year-old rape victim last year. The Indiana authorities say the doctor violated medical privacy laws. The doctor says she did not. Stocks opened higher this morning as the Commerce Department reported a bigger than expected jump in April spending. NPR's Scott Horsley reports the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose more than 200 points in early trading.
Personal spending jumped by 0.8% last month as people shelled out more money for both goods and
Says
services.
you.
The unexpected surge in spending far outstripped the jump in income last month. The personal savings rate declined to just over 4%. According to the Commerce
my
Department's
God, so people are
inflation
cutting
tally,
into their
which is
savings
closely
to
watched
buy
by the Federal
food.
Reserve, prices in April were up 4.4% from a year ago. Prices rose 0.4%
Doesn't that raise a
between
red flag
March
with
and
you
April.
governmentals?
As millions of people get set to hit the road this holiday weekend, gasoline prices have eased a bit. AAA says the average price of regular gas is now $3.57 a gallon. That's more than $1 less than at this time last year. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 190 points. The Nasdaq is up 100. This is NPR. Ukrainian authorities say that a Russian missile hit a medical clinic in the eastern city of Dnipro today, killing 2 people. Nearly 24 others were wounded. Ukrainian President Volodymyr
See, what you do
Zelensky
is
calls this
you
a
increase
crime
that gas
against
price
humanity.
really, really
Separately,
far.
Ukrainian
You don't
officials
say
say
nothing
they
about it.
shot down several Russian missiles today
Then
that were aimed
you
at the
drop it
capital,
down the next
Kyiv.
month and you be like,
The United
oh, look
States
at
and
how much
Saudi
you
Arabia
saved
say
in
the
this
most
month.
recent attempt to end weeks of deadly fighting
Get you
in
a
Sudan
medal and
is
a
showing
trophy,
signs of
a high
progress.
five.
Michael Pelosi has more on the latest ceasefire.
In a joint statement, the United States and Saudi Arabia say they held discussions with the 2 warring sides of the conflict after noting violations to the 7-day ceasefire which commenced on Monday this week. Following the talks, U.S. and Saudi officials observed that humanitarian organizations were able to deliver urgently needed medical supplies to several areas in Sudan, and that maintenance crews were able to embark on the restoration of communication services to various parts of the country. The Sudanese army and the paramilitary group, the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, had signed the ceasefire agreement last week at peace talks in the Saudi Arabian city of Jeddah that were facilitated by the United States and Saudi Arabia. For NPR News, I am Michael Kaloki in Nairobi.
People in Sierra Leone are mourning the loss of a tree that was centuries old. The cotton tree has been the country's national symbol for decades. It was felled this week by a heavy storm. Sierra Leone residents say
that's pollen
the West
in the air.
African
At
nation
least
was
celebrate
founded in the
that.
late 1700s by formerly enslaved people. They gathered under
well,
the
that
tree's
sucks.
branches to offer thanks. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News from Washington.
Well, it was a national symbol.
News is a public service. That's why NPR
All right,
knows
all right, all right.
from
Amazon.
journalism.
Skip.
In NASA news, 2 NASA astronauts aboard the International Space Station will conduct a pair of spacewalks Friday, June 9th and Thursday, June 15th to install 2 new solar arrays. Students from southern New Mexico schools will have an opportunity to hear from NASA astronauts aboard the International Space Station. The final pair of NASA's tropics time-resolved observations of precipitation structure and storm intensity with a constellation of smallsats are in orbit after successfully launching at 11:46 p.m. EDT, May 25th, 3:46 p.m. NZST Friday, May 26th, completing the constellation.
Completing a constellation.
NASA will host a
Where we
media
create
teleconference at 2
constellations
p.m. EDT Tuesday, May 30th to discuss the next science investigations, technology demonstrations, crew supplies, and hardware bound for the International Space Station aboard SpaceX's 28th Commercial Resupply Services mission for the agency.
Where's my water bottle?
NASA astronauts aboard the International Space Station will speak to students from St. Mark's Episcopal School in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. In weather.
In weather.
Currently, in Seattle, it's 61
Sun.
degrees Fahrenheit
No
with
rain.
clear skies and sun. Today, you can expect mostly sunny weather,
Woo.
with a high of 78 degrees and a low of
But I'll be
55
stuck
degrees.
indoors, tiling a
From
floor.
NASA.
Alright, Amazon.
2
Off.
NASA astronauts
Amazon.
aboard the International
Off. Amazon, tell me a joke. Tell us a joke.
What kind of dog is best for business meetings? A conference collie.
A conference collie dog. Wow. Alright. I guess that'd be good for a business meeting. But actually, in a business meeting, you might want no phone calls. Turn your phones off. I'm just saying. Might help. Alright, well, on that note of earlier, so I watched a video. Oh, I'll try to find it and put it in the description. Yeah, that's what I'll do. It was about avocados, of all things. But anyways, they're talking a lot of good stuff in that video, man. Y'all should check it out. So they're spraying our food, whether it be organic or not, with a pill spray. It's Bill Gates' company, you know. There's the name again, Bill Gates. Jeffrey Epstein's friend. Allegedly. But anyways, they're spraying it because it makes the produce last longer and all this, but it causes all kinds of problems. They got a whole list you can look up apparently of things it does. And yeah, even if it's organic or not, they're spraying it with this stuff, Appel. And also bioengineered food was talked about in that video. So I'll throw the video in. It's like an hour and something long, but it's good information on there. So you gotta look at your labels on your foods in your grocery stores to see if they're bioengineered, and check the stickers and labels to see if they say Appel. What the Appel? What the Appel? What the Appel is going on? Alright. Peace, love. Have a happy, wonderful weekend, everybody.